Good morning, Vietnam! I don't know if anyone remembers that film. It was a film with Robert Williams. I'm coming to you this morning from Hostel Mostel in Veliko, Terra Nova. I love this city and I love this hostel. This is the Bulgaria's original capital. This is one of my favourite cities. When you come here first, you think it's a bit quiet. You think it's quiet, but if you stay here a few days or a little bit of time, if you just give yourself a bit of time, don't put a judgment on, give yourself a bit of time to actually enjoy this city and understand the city and see all the city has to offer. This is a wonderful city. This is a beautiful city. It must be the only city you can be hiking in the ridges within 10 minutes and back in the city centre. And it is a city. But you can back in the city centre when, you can be up in the ridges, up in the mountains, up in the fields, up on the trails in 10, 20 minutes. You want to hike, this is your spot. But anyway, you're probably wondering what I'm doing here. And I'll get to that. The first thing, rather than waste my time, let's talk about love. We'll talk about love this morning. There's lots of people say lots of things about love, and there's lots of different, as I say, love is an abstract concept. But really, if you really break it down, I was talking before about the gemstones, and I was often talk about everything is energy. And this is what Tesla said: if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, you have to think of everything in terms of energy. So if you think of the gemstones in terms of energy, they don't really reflect much light. They don't really reflect much light. A rock won't reflect much light. But the different gemstones, what makes them more valuable is the amount of light that they can reflect. That they can reflect like diamonds. It's the clarity of it and the cut on it and how it reflects the light that what makes it valuable. Plus the years and years of suffering, years of pressure that forms the diamond. But as I say, rocks don't reflect much light, so they're not very valuable. Like rocks are quite common, but then the gemstones are quite. What makes them valuable is their rare and the way they reflect light. But then, if we look at light, it breaks down into the spectrum breaks down into all the different colours. I think there's 7 colours. What's in the rainbow? 7 colours. I think it's 7 colours. But this would be a representation of all the different energies. Energies. Now, emotions are exactly that. Emotions are energies. That's what they are. You get an emotional burst. This is an energy. Machine as you're an energy. Obviously, the emotion is an energy. But this can be also the colours would be a representation of the different energies. For example, red would be anger, purple is power, yellow is fear, yellow belly, that's fear, green with envy. These are representations, the colours, the same colour spectrum, representations of the different emotions. And what love actually is, if you really break it down, it's all the colours, it's light, it's like light, it's the full spectrum, But as love is the full spectrum of colours, all the colours, there is a dark side to the moon. There is a dark side to the moon, and really you have to be able to handle this dark side. If you really want to get into love, this is when love turns toxic. But you could ask really sometimes your relationship is a bit stale, or they're afraid to leave each other out of fear and all this bullshit. And you have to ask yourself, is that really love? Or are you just settling? A lot of people just settle, or a lot of people just are afraid, to be on their own and they settle for somebody. But you could ask yourself, is that really love? Or is it a codependency? Now, codependency is a completely different thing. And you could ask yourself, really is a codependent relationship love at all? Because really it's just need. But it doesn't have the full spectrum of colours. And this is why some people say that love is a way of being in the world. It's because you reflect light. You reflect light. You're a warrior of light. That's exactly that would be. So if you have that understanding, then all souls would go more for energies than bodies. For example, Socrates says you have to love all the bodies. It's about the mind, it's about the soul. But really what it's about is the different energies. What sort of energy a person's giving off, and this is what makes them attractive. And this goes across for all souls, it goes across the binary opposite of masculine and feminine. But really what you can have is platonic love. And this then is platonic love. But even in platonic love, and that's where it is exactly what it says in the tin, platonic love, this is where it came from. Plato plateau, whatever you want to call them. But this is where it came from. But even this, there's a dark side to the moon, and you have to be able to handle it. There's a dark side to the moon, and this is the jealousy, the lust, the fear, the anger, and this is the dark side to the moon, and you have to be able to control these emotions too, because, like, balance, and we all have a dark side, and you have to, and there's positive and negative to come in pairs, like, and energy flows in pairs, but you have to be able to handle the dark side of the moon, and especially if you're dealing with big energy, you have to be able to handle the dark side of the moon. But anyway, what am I doing here? When we're talking about love, can you imagine if you meet somebody, like, after years, like, for example, I met a fella down the park the other day, and he said to me, "What are you doing with that lad in the hostel? He's completely insane. He talks nothing on his shit all the time. He's completely insane. He's completely mad, and no one enjoys his company." And I says, "Yes, I think he's great." I said, "I think he's great." I said, "You just don't understand him at all." You know what I mean? But and then I was thinking about this after. I said, can you imagine what it's like to meet somebody who does understand you after years of people misunderstanding you and not understanding you? To meet someone who does understand you, can have a full conversation with you and teach you a different way of thinking. And not only that, but they do your washing, they do your cleaning, they do your laundry, they do your cooking. And I enjoy this shit. I enjoy doing this. This was my role there. I was the cleaner. I was the cook. I was the cleaner. I looked after the place. I looked after the people that was in it. And this was my job. But when you meet somebody like this, you can imagine what that's like. But the other day then, another little diamond came in through the door. And I call them little diamonds because they're little. Like, this one was, they're not 5 foot high. But they throw out a lot of light, big energy. And they're beautiful, like, they're beautiful little ones. Now, this is another beautiful little one that came in, little petite one, beautiful little one that came into the hostel the other night. And she's thrown off big energy, but I enjoy this energy and it's a good buzz. So I had a good bit of a buzz with her. And then she went on to bed and I was left drinking with Mr. No Ego. So we'll call him this, Mr. No Ego. And because, yeah, we call him Mr. No Ego, yeah. So that was grand, and she went on to bed, and I was drinking with Mr. No Ego, and Mr. No Ego maybe got a bit jealous of whatever he got anyway, but he said to me that he was going to go up and get into bed with her. And I says, I'm in no position to control you. I said, I have no authority to control you. It's not my business to control you. You are not within my control. I said, so you go ahead and do exactly what you like. I said, but you remember, I said, that's a choice. And you remember that you have a choice in this. I said, and that every action has a consequence. And you just think about that. There will be a consequence. And he says, yeah, grand. I'm still going to do it. And I said, grand, go on then. So he got up anyway. Got into the bed beside her, bollock naked. And she came flying down the stairs to me. She says to me, your man's have to get into the bed beside me, bollock naked. And I says, grand. I says, Jesus. I said, I may give you another bed in another room, I said. And I said, take that bed. I said, now I'll make sure no one comes near you. So she says, you may come up and get me fags. And we get me fags. And I said, grand, right, go on. We go up and get the fags. So we went up and we got the fags. Came back down. Then we're sitting having a drink, having a smoke. And I was I thought her attitude in the face of adversity was remarkable, because I always say your attitude in the face of adversity is everything. And I was amazed at her attitude in the face of adversity. She's there texting her. She must be texting, texting our mates to speed of her thumbs, a million mile an hour. She must have texted 50 mates in half an hour. But that's advertising. Like as a Polish friend of mine says, I don't care what you say about me, just get my name right. Just as long as you spell my name right. This is advertising. But anyway, no matter. So that was grand anyway. Mr. No Ego came back down the stairs. We were sitting having a drink, having a few smokes, having a drink. And I was so taken with her attitude in the face of adversity. I said, you'd be perfect for doing the administration here. I said, do you want a place here as a volunteer? I said, and you can work here. I said, we can hang here over the summer. I said, and you can do the administration, and you can do you just do the administration and I'll do the cleaning. I said, we can work as a team and we can run this place. You know what I mean? I said, we'll keep this place right. And I said, sure, think about it anyway. And we were having a bit of an old buzz, and we were laughing and joking and talking about plans. I'm always talking about plans of some sort or another anyway. So we're talking about plans, we're having a bit of a laugh and a bit of a joke. But Mr. No Ego perhaps was listening to it all going on. And she went on to the bed then, and I went on to the bed. And in the morning anyway, I'll cut a long story short, Mr. No Ego took her boots. He made on with her boots, he took her boots, and he hid my phone, so I couldn't do my podcast. So I says to my soul anyway, where's my phone? And the soul says, he has it. I says, he has it, are you sure? He says, yeah, he has it. I says, go into his room and demand your phone back to do your podcast. So I said, grand, I will. So I went barge into his room, and I don't ever go into his room because big energy, all souls need big energy, alchemy. But anyway, they need their own space. So sometimes you just need your own space. And I respected the fact you needed your own space. But I needed my own space as well. So I moved to a little place but I took no heater. There's no heater. I just moved out of main dorm because of certain energies in it. But anyway, when I went into the room, there was the heater going full blast. No one in the room. And the place like a fucking furnace. So the heaters must be on 24/7. And I just said to myself, you egotistical bastard. Because only ego would do this. Only ego only cares about himself and doesn't give a fuck for the man who's paying the bills and doesn't give a fuck for anybody, only himself and his own luxury, his own comfort and his own fucking well-being. That's ego. That's pure ego. Despite this no ego thing, there's lots of ego. That's all ego. But anyway, so the little one's boots were gone missing and she started to despair. And I said, Jesus, don't cry. Don't cry. I said, there's no sense in crying. I said, that's not going to do anybody any good. I says, now, I was going to tell her, like, that if something goes missing, just accept it with equanimity and consider giving back. But this was no time for that shit. This was no time for philosophy. So anyway, I sorted her out with a pair of runners. I had a little pair of size 5 Adidas, and I had them this long time, and I knew I had them for a reason. It was like your man carrying around a rock in the film The Parasite, carrying around a rock for 3 days, and he never knew what it was for. It was busting your man's skull open. But anyway, so I sorted her out with the pair of runners, and we're sitting there then, and she cheered up after she got the pair of runners. Like so I said, we're sitting having a coffee and we're laughing and joking about it. And she says, oh fuck this place. She said, I'm going, I'm never coming back. And I says, yeah, fuck this place. And she says, I'll post you back your runners. And I says, you won't post them back to me. And I said, I'm going with you. I said, fuck this place, I'm going with you. And that's what I did. I went in, packed my bag and went down with her, and here I am with Luca Terranova. But the point is, as I said to your man, now there's a consequence. Now your man, I don't know where your fucking man is, but he can be back in the hospital, he can be back where he likes, but this is the consequence. I fucked off. Because when a thing turns toxic, you have to know when to fuck off. You have to know when to let go. And this isn't attached to nothing and connect to everything. Attached to nothing and connect to everything. You have to know when to let go. And when a thing turns toxic, you have to have enough courage to fuck it off. I didn't even have enough money. I didn't have money. I didn't have food. But here I am. I'm in Luca Terranova today. And that's the important lesson. If somebody can't control this energy, can't control the dark side of the moon, fuck them off. For your own good, for your own comfort, cling to nothing. And a lot of people don't have the courage to do this. And this is what has them stuck in toxic relationships, where people control them due to their own insecurities, gaslight them, control them, manipulate them, put sanctions down. You can't talk to this person, you can't talk to that person. And then they had them living in fear. And I have this experience. You had them living in fear. You see them coming across the yard with a twisted face, and you start racking your mind about, what have I done? What have I done? What have I done to piss off? What have I done? Like, you start thinking back to yourself, have I done something wrong? And then, this is fear, pure fear. And like I say, all the colours of the spectrum, all the colours, and you can't handle the envy, the fear, and the power. If they can't handle this, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. But if you can't handle this, then you can give off the big light. You can give off big energy, and it's all love. But as Pamela Faith says, only love can hurt like this. Only love can hurt like this. And you could say that's not love, but that is love. It's all the colours, but the dark side of the moon. Good morning.